Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all of you. I hope everybody is joyful and happily progressing towards our journey to Krishna. Bhagavad Gita helping us in our conversation. So without delay, some or other the Zoom was not working or something. We are kind of late, but nonetheless we get it there. So let's begin by praying to Lord Vasudev under guidance of Srila Prabhupada and Guru Parampara. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Nastaprayasa Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki Mukhaṁ karati vācālam pangum langāyate girim yakripātamaham vande Sri Guru Nirvārinam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramananda Madhavam. Please collect all the flowers and ingredients to offer to your Guru and Guru Parampara, and let's go on the journey in a subtle body to spiritual world. Om Ajnanati Mirandasa Yenanjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Chaitanya Manovistam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Parantikam
Antikam
Sri Guru
Guru Shri Yata
Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Kimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sundavadi Paschatadi Shatarine Pancha Kalpa Taruvesya Kripa Sindhubhaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namah Vrindai Tulasiri Bai Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Pade Devi Sattavate Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see all of you. I feel very grateful to be here with all of you. His mother, Palika Pabani Devidasi present. Looks like she's there.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mother, do you have the list of the devotees who are going to begin?
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, Gautam Prabhu will be starting. I have put on the chat. Whoever is ready can just tell that they are ready to read. So I'll be allotting that.
Yesterday,
Actually, nobody informed. Actually,
I see.
One or
So
two
please, you can text to Mother Palika. Mother Palika Pavani Devidasi, if you would like to check, I would actually suggest everybody to read. Today we're going to go all the way from 34 to 55. So that's how many? 34, 44.
Yeah, 55.
No, I'm just counting how many. So you need that many. 22. So 22, we have 37 right now participants. 23. So please join and send our text that you would like to read. Okay, yesterday, what's his name? Satta Devata, I believe, one devotee name, he mentioned a question, very nice question. So I would suggest, I was meditating on it, actually, when I woke up, and maybe few things. This is a very nice question that anybody could be actually thinking sometime, or your mind may capture you with that. Who is the doer? So please read 18 chapter 18 chapter text 14. Adhisthana tatha karta karanam cha prithaga vividascha pratika chesta daivam iti panchama. There's a 5 factor whenever you think, just like you are here in the Zoom. Who is the doer here? Are you the doer?
No.
Or the man? Don't shake. You can prove that you are not the doer. Then why you are here if you are not the doer? You're shaking your head, but I want you to think. You are all very intelligent devotee, otherwise you would not come even in the Krishna consciousness. We cannot agree or disagree. We have to back up our thinking. Our response should be back up by the Bhagavad Gita, by the Acharya. Do you know the distance of free will? Anybody knows the distance of free will? It's a common question I sometimes throw. Distance of free will is between response and impulse. Response comes from the soul, you. And if you immediately say, no, I'm not the doer, you're not actually answering. You're taking shelter of mind. Response comes from the soul. Impulsion comes from the mind. It's like autocorrect. You know, sometimes I send a text and autocorrect comes as if it knows. I say Hare Krishna, I say hate Krishna. Now, did I wanted to say hate Krishna? This is called impulse. Maybe you never had that problem. But my phone, when I put Hare Krishna, sometimes it comes hate Krishna. It's horrible. Who would you send this to? But some or other. So try to understand the distance of free will is between response and impulse. So response has to come from the soul. And impulse comes from the mind. So when I say, how did you come to the Zoom class today? Are you the doer? Immediately some of you shaking head. Yes or no, I don't know what is shaking head means. I mean, sometimes somebody is happy, he shakes head. Sometimes somebody don't agree, also shakes head. I have no idea what is that mean. Anyway, whatever the reason.
Meaning is no, Prabhuji. The shaking of the head meaning is no.
Okay, but be careful. You cannot say actually you are not the doer. Then why you are here? Are you a robot? You are being pressured to come here? Can somebody read that sloka 18.14? Krishna says, and then 2 sloka after translation, you'll see Krishna says, if you don't consider 5 factors of everything happening in your life, every moment, or bigger scale or smaller scale, if you don't consider all these 5 factors, then you are not using intelligent. Actually, Krishna says you are not intelligent. I would not say that. I mean, I'm not trying to be better than Krishna or anything, but Krishna can say, Prabhupada translated like this. Anybody has Bhagavad Gita? Can you read? We have.
Yeah, I'll read, Prabhuji.
Okay. 18:14. Adhisthana tatha karta, you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, can you read the translation, please?
The translation by Srila Prabhupada. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the meanings of endeavors, and ultimately the super soul. These are 5 factors of action. Shall I read
Next,
Prabhupada?
next translation. Today is not this subject. I'm just because that devotee asked the question is very nice question. You'll be relevant. You'll be thinking like, who is the doer? Am I the doer or the nature or Krishna? And I can give you the verses. It says like this. You go to 5:14, you will see that you are not doer. The nature is doing everything. Then you go to 1861, you'll see that actually Krishna is doing everything, Paramatma. Wait a minute. Kartaham iti mannate, 329, it says, I'm the doer. And then 5:14, if anybody can read 5:14, 5:14 says, nature is the doer. Then you go to 1861, he says that Paramatma is the doer. He is making everybody wander, going here, there. So who is actual doer? Krishna reconciled the whole thing. That 5 factor has to be considered. Do not say you're not responsible, whatever good or bad thing you did. I'm sure you didn't do any bad thing, nobody. I did a lot of bad things in my life. I have to be responsible. But to an extent, how far? So the understanding is that how do we reconcile? That's the question. And if we don't consider these 5 factors, then can somebody say that translation what Krishna says, whether I am not intelligent or I don't have intelligence? Or what's the difference? I guess the same. Or I'm not applying intelligence. 2 verses after that, 1815 or 1816. Can you look at that? Buddhi. No?
18.15.
What did it say?
Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind or speech is
Yes.
caused by these 5 factors.
Yes. No.
Next one.
Go to the next one.
Yes, Prabhuji. 18.16. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are.
Very good. But we don't want to be like that. We want to see things as they are. Yes or no?
Yes.
We want to know as it is, what the truth is. Generally, people think, I want to know the truth. Well, if you want to know the truth about your life, you should always consider these 5 factors. I'll give you a mundane example. I shaped a little piece of wood into a doll. So I'm applying this philosophy into that. You know what I did? I took a hammer, I took a chisel, and I took that piece of wood, and I put it, grab it with my feet, and then holding that chisel in one hand, hammer in one hand. And then I shaped that piece of wood into a little doll. Now, hand can claim it is me who did this shape, this doll, it was me. The hammer say, wait a minute, no, it was me. I was the hammerer. I hammered and made it happen. Chisel may say, wait, your hammering has no value unless I was the one who's touching the wood. Individually, each of us can claim nature did it, no, I did it, no, that person influenced me, well, my friend told me that's why I acted like this. We can go around and around and around. We'll never go anywhere. All these 5 are together. In English, I found it's called contingent doer. Contingent doer. You are not alone. Nature is not alone. Neither Krishna alone. All together. Everything that you're doing or everything happening in your life, this 5 factor has to be focused. So that Prabhu asks is very nice. Because Bhagavad Gita does not exactly say that we are not the doer. I really want you to remember that. Bhagavad Gita doesn't say that we are not the doer. Krishna does say one who thinks I am the doer is in illusion, very specific. Then 3.27, if you look at it, it says Prakriti Kiramanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasa. Prabhupada used that verse a lot. But at the end of Bhagavad Gita 1863, what did Krishna say to Arjuna? Bhimisraya tad asheshena jata ichcheshitata kuru. Now deliberate deeply and do as you desire. Krishna instructs Arjuna to do as he desires. In other words, he tells Arjuna to be a doer. Yes or no? Anybody will deny that? You look at that verse 1863. I paid a lot of attention on that. Why Krishna says, do as you desire? That means Arjuna has to be doer
Yes.
or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm making it clear, not just to myself. So then we can see that 10 verses later, when Arjuna responds, he says, Karishye vachanam tava, the famous last verse, 1873, Nasta Mahasmiti. You can look at that. Arjuna says, yes, Karishye vachanam tava, I'll do your will. So, at one level, Gita is telling Arjuna that you are not the doer. Try to understand my point. But then Krishna is also telling Arjuna, now you do as you desire. So Arjuna says, I will do as you desire. Everybody with me? These three dialogue, three sloka demonstrate. So now you do as you desire. I'll do as you desire. This controversy is resolved in the 16th verse of 18th chapter, where Krishna says the illusion is to think that we are the only doers. That is where the illusion is. You just read the translation. One who thinks that the soul alone is the doer, that person is in illusion. Now you may say that how to understand that this is illusion? Now I'm speaking. Am I speaking now? I'm the doer. If I did not want to speak, nothing would come out. Am I right or wrong? Satya Devata Prabhu. If I did not want to speak anything, nothing would come out from my mouth. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. But if I get a sore throat, I will not be able to speak, even though I may want to speak. Try to understand that point. So in this way, I am the doer, but I am not the sole doer. At the very least, we have the capacity to desire. And having the desire is one aspect of doership. Along with that, we can also do action at a small level. A person with a fractured arm. I have a friend who got fractured arm, and I apply that also. I think about how Bhagavad Gita actually applies everything in our life. And he may be instructed by the doctor to perform exercise. You know, doctor told him, just try to lift every day your arm. Exercise, even though in that state they may be unable to use their entire arm. It's true, he could not. They are advised to start by exercising a single finger, then the hand, then eventually like this, you know, practically, slowly, his hand moves the whole. Yeah, you did that. You had happened. Okay, one of my student here, he also agrees. Although our free will is never taken away by our conditioning, the scope over which we can execute our free will can be limited. And you can look at Bhagavad Gita 9:6. I think we talked about it. Remember? Jathakasha stito nittam, that verse. We can think of the sky like an upside down ball with the wind moving within. I think we discussed that detail. Somebody actually asked that question, I remember, from this audience. The sky does not prevent the wind from moving, remember? But it limits the area over which the wind moves. Similarly, for us, we do not have absolute freedom. I hope you all realize that. I'm sure you do. But even within our limited scope, we do have a freedom. Anybody denies?
No, Prabhu.
No. Yes?
Yeah, we don't deny.
Okay, thank you.
Can you
Just
repeat
wanted
that,
to-
Prabhu?
Huh?
Can you repeat what you said once, if you don't mind, again?
Oh, regarding this example of 9.6
Yes.
that we are, okay. We do not have absolute freedom. Do you have absolute freedom? No. You cannot just fly. If you don't want to be in the Zoom, that doesn't mean you can. Would you fly and come to Alachua right now? No, you can't. So you don't have absolute freedom that whatever you want, you can do. Give me 1 second.
Prabhuji, Krishna is testing you. You don't have freedom for the speak also. So Krishna is the one controlling everything.
Yes, but I
As
also
you
want to. So it's
as
a
you desire, you
combination.
cannot. Yeah.
It's a
As you desire, you
combination,
cannot.
not Krishna alone. Then you are going to make him like some kind of dictator. Krishna is not a dictator. Together.
Together.
So Prabhuji, response and the impulse, impulse which you said in the beginning, so that actually works for the desire, right? Because ultimately what we are doing, like the 5 factors you are saying, also what we know that mode of material nature creates the situation. Like a murderer, he doesn't desire to murder, but because of karma and all those factors make him. But maybe the hatred of that person, in the mind he's thinking that, oh, he should die, and that's why the mode of material nature is making him murder that person. Am I correct in understanding, Prabhuji?
It's a combination. The first word I said is that we have a free will. We have to learn how to utilize it all the time. So response comes from the soul, impulse comes from the mind. So the distance of free will is between response and impulse. Have you seen that before you even finish the question, somebody already respond? I mean, somebody already react?
Yes.
Because they are not on their own. They are on their, depending on the mind all the time. And these people suffer actually a lot. They are in anxiety, they are always worried. Seems like they are never happy. It's very difficult. But by practicing chanting Hare Krishna and Bhakti, they can come back as a normal. Majority people react in this world immediately. This is what I meant, impulse. Okay, let's go with this one. So, as I mentioned, we do not have absolute freedom, but even within our limited scope, we do have freedom. And the example, I can give another example. If somebody is a drug addict or alcoholic, say alcoholic, because I know one person, just cannot give up alcohol. When they get the urge, they are unable to stop themselves from drinking. Maybe you don't know because you all are Hare Krishna devotee. But I know a person, I mean, I can tell you who was he. He was my Shekra or goldsmith. He was working, he's American, white body. He was working for me for many years, almost 20 years. Krill Hinter, Mr. And he was a member of ANA, Alcohol Anonymous. If you are in America, you all know, otherwise it's not. It's a group of people that they try to get out of alcohol. And I learned a lot of things from him. And now, of course, he chant Hare Krishna, he's became a devotee in a sense that is coming slowly. So when the urge hits, they temporarily may have no free will, they feel. But in between urges, they do. I practically intervene in his life to find out. What Bhagavad Gita says, 100% is correct. If we just follow, if we know the secret of Krishna's giving the confidential knowledge. In one sense, I mean, when they get urges, I'm sure everybody, each of you I'm challenging actually. Each of you cannot lie. You have had that urges, whether for alcohol or something else, for ice cream, whatever. Or even, uniting with someone or conversing or watching a movie or something. When the urges hits, they temporarily may feel they have no free will. We feel like that, oh, I don't have any choice. I mean, I feel like natural attraction. I went for it. But in between the urges, they do. If in between the urges, they are doing something to improve, this is my point. May it be counseling, being purified by spiritual impression, like chanting, seriously prayers, then they will become stronger and be in a better position to resist the urge in next or future. I had a bad habit. I won't say you whole details, it's horrible, but I got out of it by prayers and chanting. Take another example in which I am very conditioned, require 10 hours of sleep a day. Not me, but well, I used to like sleeping once a week, 10 hours a day. That just Sunday. I'm being honest to you, there's nothing hidden. Nowadays I sleep 4 or 5 hours, but there was, when I used to work every day, Sunday I would just sleep 10 hours a day. I mean, 10 hours on Sunday. How about, I can decide that instead of 10 hours, I'll try to do with 10 minutes less, 10 minutes less. In our situation, if we can use our free will even at a microscopic level, in America they call baby steps, with baby steps, then those baby steps will help us to grow in spiritual life eventually. I used to sleep normally like 6-7 hours easily. To come to 4 and 5 hours now, it was gradually less, 5 minutes less for a week, and 10 minutes less for another week, maybe 15 minutes less for another week. Gradually, we call baby steps in America. This is how, by using whatever free will we have right now, properly, we show Krishna that we want to use our free will properly, then we expand the scope of our free will. I think that's enough. It's already half an hour gone. We have to start. We have to finish this 22 verses. So, Mother Palika Pavani.
Prabhuji, one very important, for the sleep, is there any specific hours that we sleep that will give good sleep and for that body, like everything, that 4 hours or 5 hours, whatever timing aspect I'm talking about. So can you please tell on that?
Srila Prabhupada recommends 6 hours.
Prabhuji, my question is timing in the sense 8 to 11, 8 to 1, or 9 to 3, 9 to 5, something like that.
I'm just thinking whether I want to open a Pandora box or not. But just an idea, what I experience, if you sleep 1 hour before 12 o'clock midnight, it almost gives you 1.5 hours after 12. So try to sleep early. Like I have a class this evening, Sunday feast class I have here. Sunday feast lecture I have also for Vancouver. And Vancouver, they're 3 hours behind. So my 9 o'clock by 10:30, 11, if the question finished, 11 o'clock. So that's like once every few weeks I give class, Las Vegas, Vancouver, like this. So I adjust according to. So you adjust according to what you need. But don't, Krishna, I'm just thinking like not to expend too much. They say if you don't give the share, devil share. If you don't share, devil will take away. And I tell you what is that means. One devotee here, friend of mine, he said, I'm going to be so strict, sleep less and less and less. I said, but you are spiritually, you have to also progress. Otherwise, it is not going to work. So he was doing it. He was doing very strict for 1 month. Then one day he went to sleep for 12 hours. He did not even know how to get up. He was not even aware. And for a week, he could not get up. When you get up in the morning, your body say, take me to toilet. And you say, no, I'm not going to control you. Prabhu, don't do that. You have to give the body's demand as it's needed. You can discipline. Otherwise, body will humiliate you on your bed. I don't have to explain the whole, you know what I meant. So like this, body, you have to give a discipline. I don't know, you're casual. It is not exactly time that we follow. What I do, I like, as I said, whenever I need it, I just some or other discipline. Just like Prabhupada went to Mexico, he went lecture middle of the night. And they say, Prabhupada, sorry, you won't be able to get up for Mangalarti. Prabhupada said, this is an opportunity that 1 million people going to hear this radio show. Those days, a radio show was there, a big famous radio show. They invited him. Prabhupada said, that's all right. One day we'll miss Mangalarti, but we'll follow next day. So it depends. We're not like very strict. It depends on your preaching techniques. I don't know where you are, what you do. So you adjust according to. And later on, you can text me. We'll discuss about these details, not in this class. Is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mother Palika, I'm sorry. We are already late.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I will
Can
read.
somebody start?
Yes, Prabhuji. I will read. Text number 34. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadaratham cha karn tathana piyodha viran maya hantan swajahima vathishta yuddha swajeta sirane saptan patnan. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will be vanquished your enemies in battle. Purport. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but He is so kind and merciful to His devotees that He wants to give the credit to His devotees who carry out His plan according to His desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by His mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as His plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Can you see, I'm sorry, I was supposed to go one by one. But if you look at this verse, it's so tasty. You can like really taste these verses. See here, Jayadratha was not listed in prominent warrior. Also was not mentioned by Arjuna. When he says Vishwarupa, Arjuna explained. But Krishna is saying, by my will, you will be able to kill Jayadratha. Look at this. This is like how merciful Krishna wants to reciprocate. Make Krishna like that kind of friend. He knows in future what is coming. And Krishna purposely putting that name. So my suggestion is don't just speak or learn philosophy. Seek the purpose of philosophy. That philosophy that we are learning, we need it. But we need to seek, S-E-E-K, the purpose of philosophy. That is important. Because Bhagavad Gita states that purpose of philosophy is to understand the true nature of reality. Etymologically, philosophy means love of wisdom. In America dictionary, Webster dictionary says, philo means loving, Sophia means wisdom. I like that dictionary meaning, very interesting. Wisdom culminates in understanding and harmonizing with reality. So people approach philosophy for different purpose. Some people speak it to exhibit their own cleverness. Others speak it to justify whatever they want to do. Still, others, such as academic philosophers, speaks it as a profession. Is it? They get salary, they work, 10 years or in such cases, philosophy is frequently reduced to a tool for pursuing a worldly purpose, not for discovering life's ultimate purpose. But in our case, please consider the philosophical concept of destiny. It can be used to rationalize not doing the right thing or to persevere in doing the right thing, even if difficult. This can be seen through the contrasting example of Dhritarashtra and Arjuna. We can see right here. So before the Kurukshetra war, Dhritarashtra argued, if the war were destined to happen, what could he, a tiny mortal, do in the face of almighty destiny? And he tried to justify his complicity in his son Duryodhana's nefarious activities. In contrast, before the war, Krishna showed Arjuna through a mystical vision how all the Kauravas were destined to die. We just read, right, this verse. After beholding that vision, Arjuna did not argue. See the difference between Arjuna and Dhritarashtra. When destiny has already ordained their death, why should I do the painful duty of fighting against them? Destiny will anyway do what it intends. Instead, he did Krishna's will, 1873. Please remember that. I love that 1873, Arjuna's last word. We have to all become like that. When you come to that sloka, you should meditate on it. That's one of the candies. Candy, in a sense of chewing. Becoming a divine instrument for establishing dharma. What applies to the philosophical concept of destiny applies also to all of philosophy. It can be used to solidify one's dedication to a duty or dharma, or to justify one's abdication of dharma. When we approach philosophy to understand our place and purpose in overall scheme of things, philosophy opens for us the door to a meaningful and fulfilling life. And this is what we are going to explore today. Text 35, please.
Ram Sham Prabhu. Text 35.
Hare Krishna. Sanjaya uvacha etat shrutva vachanam kesvasya kritanjala vepam manaha kriti namaskritva bhuya evaha krishnam sangadadamba Vita Pranamya. And the translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charna Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hand again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. And the purport by His Divine Grace Abhayacharna Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus, he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with a faltering voice, he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Ready for text 35? I'm going to say a few words on this. So actually, the universal form spoke quite encouraging words. But Vishwarupa was quite fearsome to see. Kshatriya do not become fearful. I hope you all know. In Vedic culture, Kshatriya means you will never have a fear. They will challenge always. And Arjuna is well known for that. So Kshatriya do not become fearful. What to talk about Arjuna? But the darshan of the universal form, especially the Kala Rupa. Kala Rupa means the time devouring everything. Aspect so fearsome. So there are various aspects of universal form which is also discussed in second canto. If you ever read, there is in second canto there is a 10 chapter total, and beginning there is a universal form. On the 6th chapter there is a universal form, and the 10th chapter 3 times repeated in Bhagavatam. Basic concept is we connect the universe with God. Whatever manifestation we see within universe, we see them as manifestation of Lord's form. And by that, we spiritualize vision of universe and we understand the glory of God. So the meditation of universal form is the first step. Please remember this, is the first step in God realization. Bhagavatam depicts. Your intelligence will be purified if you meditate on this universal form, first thing. Srila Prabhupada also mentioned, I remember in Bhagavatam, that this is a conceptualization, which means it is not that Lord has a form like this, which is somewhere in spiritual abode. Srimad Bhagavatam talks about kalpita, imagined. So by this way, Lord's form is imagined by great thinker, those who are wise. Vishwarup, or this universal form, is not conceptualization, it is revelation. Conceptualization is what we have conceived by our own imagination. Everybody understand that point? But revelation is everything flashed in front of Arjuna. You remember other day we discussed, when you see the deity, don't try to see the deity. Let the deity see you. Subjective perception, not objective. It is very important. Hammer it on your head that always have that subjective perception. So similarly, universal form meditation is described as a sadhana, practice. But here for Arjuna, it is a mercy. Vishwarup, Kalarup is not shown, that is especially shown to Arjuna, which Lord shown to Arjuna as an assurance. In the assembly of Kaurava, also Virat Rupa was shown, as we discussed one time. But there also Kalarupa was not shown there. So Vishwarupa has a Kalarupa, but this Vishwarupa has a Kalarupa, it is not visible before or nobody ever saw before. You remember that discussion came that so many times universal form, Mother Yashoda also saw universal form. It's different universal form than this. Arjuna, that is why it is said that Lord, that this form is never shown to anyone earlier. Everybody remembers we just read in this chapter that this form was never shown before. Okay. Arjuna has already identified universal form as Vishnu in verse 24 and 30. In the 16th verse, he said universal form, then why does in 31 verse he asked, who are you? Why Arjuna asked this question? If he knows he's Vishnu, he's Vishwarupa, then why is he asking? Because the Kala Rupa, the all-devouring death, has never been seen. Try to remember this. This is distinctly different from any other universal form, which is within this universal form, who is devouring everyone. That is what he has asked, which is described as Kala Rupa. So everybody understanding my point? Kala Rupa means that all the 640 million people that gather here today, I mean, at that time, battlefield, or you can be there, are already put into death by Krishna. That form is called Kala Rupa. That Kala Rupa, time-devouring death, was not visible in Mother Joshoda's universal form, or Advaita Acharya seeing the universal form from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is distinctly never shown before. And after understanding this universal form, Arjuna offers prayers, which are covered in next verses. Keep going, please. 36.
Hare Krishna. Text 36. Arjuna Uvacha Stane Hrishikesha Tava Prakritya Jagat Prasyati Anuraja Techa Rakshamsi Bitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti Chasida Sangha. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened, and as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotees and the destroyers of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets, and they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others, who were demons and atheists, could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all.
That's such a nice ending line. We should all remember this always. In all cases, Prabhupada writes, a good devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. You know, in America, they have a common saying, God is good. Everybody says that, God is good. It's just like a common saying. It's so nice. Okay, text 37.
Archana Bhakti Mataji.
तस्माच्च तेनानमेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे भ्रमणोऽप्यादिकर्त्रे अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वम् अक्षरं सद् असत् तत्परं यत्. O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Purport. By this offering of obeisances, Arjun indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading and he is the soul of every soul. Arjun is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devesha means that he is the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjun also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him because no one is greater than him. Arjun especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel abdomen of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who is Krishna's plenary expansion. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisances. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within this material nature, as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all great supreme.
Very good. So what's the name of the Lord when he is the master of Brahma and Shiva? Anyone knows?
Devesha.
Devesha.
Keshava. Keshava, very good. Ka means Brahma, Isha means Shiva. Keshava means the Lord of Brahma and Shiva and everybody else. Keshava also means, very deep meaning is that whose beautiful hair, Kesha, it's so attractive. There's a whole song about it. I'm sure you all know that beautiful song Rupa Goswami Pad wrote. This is a beautiful purport. I want to just touch it a little bit of the previous verse to bring it to this verse. Because in previous verse, there is a one nice word, sthane, at the right position. Hold on. Yes. Sthane is the right position. So it is rightly done. Rishikesha, O Lord of Master of Senses. What happens when your glories are spoken? That question may arise. So this is beautifully answered. Jagata praharshati anusrijate cha. Whole universe becomes delighted when they hear Krishna's glory. Such a nice. So two things happens. We become joyful. We become attached to the Lord. This is for those who are devotionally inclined. Then the verse says, Rakshangshi Bhitani Drisho Dravanti. Those who are demoniac, they run away in various directions. So Lord's form is actually giving the indication who is demon. If you see the Lord's form and you don't like to look at him again and again and again, some demoniac nature is within you. I don't mean to attack you, but just giving you a little indication. But if you feel more attraction to see the Lord again and again and again, that means devotional quality is manifesting in you. Then the verse says, Sarve namashanti cha siddha sangha. All the siddhas, saintly, are offering obeisances. Did anybody ever face like this? You see a painting or a deity or anywhere of Krishna, you immediately feel like to fold your hand and pay obeisances. If you feel like that, that is normal. Means you are saintly. Otherwise, something opposite to that is still there. So there are many types of Raksha mantra in Vedic tradition. There are mantras to protect from bad omens, ghosts. Similarly, this mantra is part of Raksha mantra. By chanting this mantra, Rakshas goes away. If anybody ever feels scary, this verse 36, you can chant to get out of the Rakshasa influence in someone. Then in 37, it says, Kasmat chatena, why they should not? Nameran Mahatmana, offer obeisances to Mahatman, to the Supreme Lord. Gariyashe, you are the greater than Brahmana opi adi karte. Brahmana can refer to the Brahman here, to the Brahman Jyoti, or it can refer to Brahmaji. So here it refers to Brahmaji, Brahmanopi Adi Kartre. And Prabhupada, it looks like in the purport Prabhupada meant is Brahma. So actually you are greater than Brahmaji. That's why Prabhupada put Brahma. Ananta Desha Jagana Nivasa. You are Ananta, unlimited Devesha. You are controller of all gods. Not only that, but you are the shelter of whole universe. Tam aksharam sadasat tat param jat. Tam aksharam. You are akshara, infallible, imperishable. You know the English word akshara, I mean Sanskrit word akshara means? Anybody knows akshara? Infallible means, what is infallible?
Never fall down.
No. It sounds like, but it's not exactly.
One who never fails in his promise.
Never.
One who never
perishable.
fails in his promise.
Perishable.
Never.
Who can
Infallible
never make
means-
any mistakes.
Very good. Yes. He never makes any mistake. You can, and if he keeps if he gives you word, just like say he gave a word, if you surrender to me, I'll protect you. Once you start surrendering, you don't have to worry about protection. Integrity in Krishna. When he says something, it's already built. That order or instruction has all the power built in. This is very nice. I love this verse. Okay, 38.
I can read, Prabhu. Text 38. Tvamadideva Purusha Puranas Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vedasi Vedyam Chaparam Chadama Tvaya Tatam Vishwam Anantarupa. Translation: You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Purport: Everything is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, He is the ultimate rest. Nidhanam means that everything, even the Brahman effulgent, rests on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world, and if knowledge has any end, he is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, he is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because he is all pervading. Because he is the cause in the material world, he is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world. Hare Krishna.
This purport looks like Prabhupada is in love, deeply in love with Krishna. Everything ends with Krishna. It's so sweet. Thank you. Tam Adi Deva, you are the original God. Purusha Purana, you are the original primeval person. Tamasya Vishwasya Paramo Nidhanam, you are the shelter of the whole universe. Betasi Vedayam Cha Param Cha Dhama. Betasi Vedam, you are the knower, you are the knowable. You are the knower, omniscient, super soul, and thrust, charter, abhigyan sarat. Directly or indirectly contingent of everything. Bettasi. Very nice. Vedam, none other knowledge can benefit us as completely as knowing Krishna. Paramcha Dhama, and you are the supreme shelter. Tayat Attam Vishwam Anantarupam. By you, the whole universe is pervaded. Wonderful. 39.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I read?
It is Lakshay Prabhu.
Okay.
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Please carry on. 39th verse.
Yes, Swami. वायुर्यमोऽग्निर्वरुणा शशाङ्का प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपीतामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते. Translation: You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. Purport: The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods, being all pervasive. Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe.
Okay. 40.
Nama purastadata pristataste namastute sarvata eva sarva.
Little high. I can't hear well.
Nama purastadata pristataste namastuste sarvata eva sarva. Ananta viryamita vikramasvam sarvam samapnosi tatosi sarva. Translation: Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Purport: Out of the loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana 1969, Yoyam tavagato deva samipam devata gana Satvam eva jagat srasta yata sarvagato bhavan. Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Very good. So this is a very important verse. Very nice. Namo Purushtha. Next. Let me see.
Saujanya Mataji.
The two verses together.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, I will read. Saketi matva prasabham yad yuktam. He Krishna, he Yadava, he Saketi. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Maya pramadat pranayena vapi. Yachavaha shratam ashatkutoshi vihara sayasana bhojaneshu ekotavapi achyuta tat samaksham tat shamaye tvam aham aprameyam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, O my friend, O Krishna, O Yadava, etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. This is one of the verse that our Acharya use it as a symptoms that manifest when you awaken your love for Krishna. Now you may say, well, this doesn't sound like he's actually enjoying it. He's paying obeisances as a friend, but as a friend, nobody pays obeisances. That's true. So I'm going to mention just a couple minutes on this. After offering obeisances, Arjuna thinks that I behave so intimately with absolute truth. I treated him like a friend, and so now he's offering apologies. Is that normal? Everybody agrees? Do you understand what you are? I hope you all understand what you are reading. Is that normal?
Yes, Prabhu.
For a friend, it's not normal, Prabhuji.
Very true. Because Arjuna has a friendly relationship with him. How many of you went to your friend and paid full obeisances? As a Vaishnava, you do it. I'm not talking about as a Vaishnava. As like a very intimate friend. You just play around, eat from each other's plate sometime, and then all of a sudden one day you decided, no, I must always worship him, offer, washing water for his feet and obeisances. I doubt anybody did, or maybe anybody did that. No, but Arjuna something is going through a very interesting that in our life we will face also like this. Let's see. Saketi matta, I thought of you as friend. This is how the verse says. Saketi matta, prashabham, it is presumptuous on my part to do like this. Saketi matta, prashabham jat uttam. So I presumptuously addressed you as what? Question may rise. Hey Krishna, hey Jadava, hey Saketi. So I addressed you as O Krishna, O Jadava, O Sakha. Now, and after that it says, Ajnanata mohimanam tavedam. Ajnanata, I did not know. What Arjuna did not know? That's the question should rise. Mahimanam tavedam, your glory, I did not know. Are Baba, you are friend with him from long time. Even in their first meeting, you know, I'm sure you all know, when Krishna came from Vrindavan in Mathura, and then in one time he went for a shopping. Well, you wonder like Krishna going for shopping? Sure, why not? He goes for a shopping to a village where Pandavas actually residing. And Arjuna also came with his brother for shopping. It's very interesting. And from a far distance, Krishna looked at him. Who is this boy? I want to be his friend. And Arjuna also looked at from far. Who is this? I want to be his friend. It's like a deep down, you know, like when young boys see a girl or girls see a young boy, they have some feeling. It's a natural, we can relate like that. So Arjuna and Krishna, they fell in love actually more and more in that market. That was their first meeting. Anyway, the whole story is very wonderful. So they had a natural love, but Yogamaya creates like this so that this is their first meeting. Then they found out their cousin. Oh, then they felt so happy. Cousin means I can see him whenever I want. I can call him up. Or, well, I'm sure they had a different kind of telephone, not iPhone or anything. So that's how they felt, you know, that's how the expression we do. Maya pramadat pranaya vapi. So the reason for this presumption's behavior could be pramada, madness, or pranaya, love. Which one? Madness or love? Both. So here we can see that the rasa is changing. Rasa. Everybody understand the word rasa? It's a transcendental mellow of love. I don't want to say the whole English word. In Sanskrit is easier. Rasa. Rasa means transcendental mellow of love with whatever relationship you have. So here we see that rasa is changing. We never see gopas in Vrindavan. Anybody know any pastime that any coward boy apologizing to Krishna, their relationship is very close. They tease Krishna, they wrestle with Krishna. Sometimes they defeat Krishna also. In Gopal Champu, it is described that after defeating wrestler of Kamsa, as I mentioned other day, Krishna called his friend in wrestling arena and he wrestled with them. They defeated Krishna and Kamsa was amazed. What is going on here? These children, Krishna and Balaram, defeated my wrestler. They are again defeated by other children. How is this possible? This is Gopal Champu Jiva Goswami Padpur. Actually, Saikaras of Brajavasi is called Visramba. Maybe 12th chapter I'll discuss. There is 3 types of love in Vrindavan. How many types? 3. You can see my finger, but I cannot see. It's like a reflecting. Maybe the light. 3. One is called Vivek Shunna Prem. We'll discuss that later. Vivek Shunna Prem, then Visramba Prem, and then Utkantamayi. Utkantamayi is like Mother Jashoda and the gopis rather. So here you see, actually Shakaras of Braja is called Visramba. Visramba Shakar. Now, Arjuna, he is paying obeisances, going down, seeking forgiveness. This is called Gaurava. Gaurava and Visramba are not same. Both are Shikha, where there is a awareness of greatness of the person. Like if Sridham, Krishna say, my father has a 9 lakhs cow. 9 lakhs means 900,000 cows. Sridham will say, why are you bragging about it? Your father has so many cows, 9 lakhs. My father has 11 lakhs cow. I am better. Now, does Krishna feel bad? No, he loves it. That the Sridham does not allow Krishna to be better than him. This is a friendship. Now, in this case, Arjuna is feeling disturbed. So let's see. From our perspective, Shakya itself is a very exalted platform. This is understood. How much relishable and intimate the relationship in Vrindavan. Then he further described that it is not that I address you like this, but other time just Shavan Nartham Asat Kritoshi. For the sake of joking, what did I do? Asat Kritoshi means I acted improperly. What was that? What did he act improperly? Bihara, Sayanas, Bhojaneshu. There were friends, so sometimes they will lie down together on the same bed. Bihara, they will play together. Sayanas, they will sit together. Bhojaneshu, they will eat together, sometimes from each other plate. You know, Lord Ram had a big trouble to make Hanuman eat with him, because all these monkeys came from Lanka after victory, and then Lord Ram told Hanuman, please train them up. Of course, his training, they had a very nice, billions of monkeys, they're getting trained. So Hanumanji is showing him, all the monkeys, how to eat chickpea. So you hold the chickpea like this. Everybody knows chickpea, right? Oh, they call chana in India, I think. So you all like the chickpea like this. And he squeezed, but the chickpea went out of his finger. So Hanuman, anytime anywhere he wants to go, he always say Ram. So he say Ram. And seeing this, all the monkeys also holding the chickpea and shooting it up and saying Ram. They think this is how you learn how to eat. Actually, it was a mistake. Hanuman just, squeezed the chickpea. It went like this. But all the monkeys are imitating. They're getting trained how to honor prasadam. So it's going like this one by one. And Lord Ram saw from far, all these monkeys are chanting my name. And is that how they eat? And then he saw the teacher, Hanuman is teaching. Not intentionally he's doing that, but the chickpea is like, so one fruit, he hold it, the fruit slips out from his finger. And he said, Ram, where are you going, fruit? And then all the monkeys also doing the same thing. But problem was, all the monkeys eating, but they didn't respect their guru. They didn't give a separate plate for him to eat. Seeing this, Ram called Hanuman, please come. I want you to sit down with me. Today we are going to honor prasadam. And Hanuman started sweating. Oh my God, how can I ever think of eating with Ram? No. In his mind, he's like sweating, he wants to escape, but he can't. His Lord is saying. So finally, they brought the prasadam, big plate. Ram started honoring. It's a banana leaf. And Ram started honoring. The please, Hanuman, please take a bite. No, Prabhu, I can never do this. Said, why? Said, same plate is impossible. I cannot. So Lord Ram put his thumb on the middle of the banana leaf, went like this. From that day, banana leaf, you see there is a split. It became, all the banana leaf never had a split before. So from that day, it became a split. So he said, okay, you eat that side of the banana leaf and I'll eat this side. He could not eat. See, it's not easy. We think to become a friend, when you actually come to a pure dasya, then Shikha, it is not easy. It is only your origin, nature has to accommodate, otherwise impossible. Lord Ram felt unhappy. He wants to eat with his friend. with his servant. So then next Leela as a Krishna, he eats with his. Here Arjuna is facing just the opposite. So at that time, what happened? Eko bapi achyuta tat samaksham. So sometime when I was alone, I spoke teasing to you, make fun of you. Of course, out of love. Sometime I did this in presence of others. But you are Achyuta. I'm not Achyuta. Achyuta means never fallible. Never do mistake. I can commit mistakes. So please forgive me for my mistakes. That's sanskaksham, shkama. Tat shkamaya tvam aham aprameyam. Very sweet the way Bhagavad put it. That please forgive me. I ask Shama for that. So Arjuna, when he understood how great his friend is, he feel actually acted erroneously. Now, what is the big deal about these three names? Should we chant Krishna's name as a Sakha, Krishna, Jadava? Can we chant? Yes. Sometimes we don't know the meaning. We are chanting, so it doesn't matter. The feeling is not there. But Arjuna feeling is now disturbed with those names. Why? What is Sakha means? I don't know in India how you say Sakha. In America, they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. I'm sure you heard that before.
Yes, Prabhu.
Not knowing your majestic Vishwarup as Bhagavan. Instead, I say Sakha means I need you sometime you need me too. But if I say Sakha, that is an insult to God because God doesn't need anything from anyone. So he feels guilty. Everybody understand that's why he's feeling guilty? Then he addressed Krishna. Now what's wrong with that word Krishna that he's feeling guilty? Because Vasudev, who was his father, he was the minister, Sachiva, peon. Sachiva peon means like a second in the employment, you would say.
Assistant, you mean?
Is like a manager is a kind of like a close man, but he's under, he's not equal to me at any level. I'm the boss. He's my man.
Assistant.
Yes, assistant. So Vasudev, Krishna's father, he is also Kshatriya, but he is a lower class Kshatriya according to Varnashram system. Was a mantri, just like a Brajavashi. Now Prajanna Maharaj, Nanda Maharaj's father, he's not a king, they're Vaishya. The whole pastime is so wonderful. I hope everybody read this if you didn't hear that. How Prajanna Maharaj became a Maharaj. Because he's a Vaishya. Vaishya is not a ruler. But his quality, affection for all the Brajavashi, Maharaj Ugrasen gave him Ras Tilak. Ras Tilak means coronate. That's a beautiful pastime. How Prajanna Maharaj became. And then next, Prajanna Maharaj has the 5 children. Then how is possible Nanda Maharaj, who is middle son, he became the king, successor? It's another pastime, another 1 hour discussion. So beautiful. It's because of their affection for each other to rule. It's more than what the Kshatriya can do. So here, Arjuna is saying, I am a Kshatriya son, and you are also a Kshatriya son, but your father comes from a lower Kshatriya race. So when I address you as a Krishna, neither Krishna or his father is big fighter. You're not a big Kshatriya. So it's kind of like addressing Krishna, who should I say? Addressing God as a Krishna is like putting him little lower Kshatriya status. So Arjuna feels guilty. Now Jadava, why Jadava is a big deal? Jadava is a beautiful name. What's wrong of that? Arjuna feeling guilty? Jadava means a small king, minor. like a tiny, tiny king, not a big emperor. Where is Arjuna coming from? Oh, this is a King Santanu, big Maharaj's dynasty. But Vasudev coming from a small king. So that's why he is now, because he is aware of those. So then he's feeling guilty. Now, relationship is eternally between living entity and Krishna. Cannot be forgotten as we see Arjuna's behavior. Although Arjuna saw universal form, but cannot forget his Shakya mood. Other day we discussed the corresponding between the universal form, his perception, and his eternal relationship are not matching. That was the main cause of disturbance. Demigod didn't feel disturbed when they saw that. Bhishmadev did not feel disturbed because Bhishmadev doesn't have a friendship with Krishna. Everybody understand that simple point? Because in spiritual world, when you get 11 things, that's not the subject today, but 11 things, out of that, age is a big deal. You are born one moment before Krishna birth or one moment after, it changes your rasha. Everything is like a perfect scientific in spiritual world. In spiritual world, no Mataji will be 1 second higher than the husband's age. Has to be lower. Because the quality is built in that. Of course, in the material world, we are not this body, so it doesn't really relate. But just some idea. Okay, we'll go to the next sloka. Where are we? Let's see, 38? No.
43.
43.
Pita shilokasya characharasya tvamasya pujasya gurur gariyan natvat samosti apyadhika kutonyo lokatrayepi apratima prabhava. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is worshipable as a father, is worshipable for his son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplinic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in the Svetashvatara Upanishad 6.8. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate natat samas chabdhyadikas cha drishyate. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man, but for him, there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute. Therefore, his activities and potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality are all transcendental. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma chame divyam yevam yoveti tatvata tvekta deha punar janma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Whosoever knows Krishna transcendental body, activities and perfection after quitting his body returns to him and doesn't come back again to this miserable material world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna that will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna, everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 5.142 confirms, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Hare Krishna.
Very good. 44.
Tasmat paranamya pranidhaya kayam prasaday tvam aham isham idyam piteva putrasya sakheva sakhyu priya priyaya hasi deva sodam.
Prabhu, you are muted. Sanjay Prabhu.
See, please tolerate the wrongs that I may have done to you and bear with me as a father with his son or a friend with his friend or a lover with his beloved. Purport. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, as a master, etc. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As the father tolerates or the husband or master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Very good. He gave 3 examples. Very nice. Okay, next. Because of the time, we need to finish. 45.
Shamala Gopika Mataji.
Yes,
Are you there?
अदृष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तद्येव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Purport. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend. And as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence, Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus, his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he had no reason to fear. Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayana form because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets, he has his transcendental form with 4 hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestation of different names. Thus, Arjuna desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is 400, but the 4 hands hold different arrangements of symbols: the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands, these 4 things are held in. The Narayanas are variously named. All of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his 400 feature. Thank you.
Very nice. The 24 name of Vishnus are all inter-exchange of those 4 symbols. And I hope you all know that. This is very interesting. We are going to read the next verse 46. But in this verse, you can see very interestingly how earlier Lord has used this form earlier no one has seen. He revealed that. Now here he says, Rishitoshmi Drishta, become delighted, gladdened. You have shown me such form. But at the same time, he says, Bhayanecha pravrittiyatam manome. My mind is in fear. It is tormented. Why? It is tormented because he has seen this one extra form in the Vishwarupa form. What was that? Anybody can notice?
All devouring death.
Yes, Kala Rupam. Very good. Thank you. 46.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichchami tvam drashtumaham anam aham tataiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishwamurte. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with globe, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita 5.39, it is stated, Rama Dhimurti Shukala Niyamena Tishtan. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and in the main forms are those like Rama, Narsimha, Narayana, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. Any of his innumerable forms, in all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contaminations of the material world.
Very good. This is very nice. We should meditate like this. Why Arjuna is asking? Arjuna has asked to show the form of Chaturbhuja because he wanted to ensure that there should not be any doubt on the divinity of Krishna. Krishna shown Virat Rupa, also Vishnu Rupa. That way it is clear Krishna can manifest all other form and Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna wanted to establish that beyond any ambiguity. Any form that we ever got attracted, whether male or female or Disneyland, whatever, it's all in that one form, Krishna. And we'll never move anywhere else. 47. Text 47, please.
Hare Krishna. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Maya prasannena tvar arjunedam rupam param darshitam atma yogat tejomayam vishvam ananta adyam yanme tvadena drishta purvam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjun, happily have I shown you by my internal potency the supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen his primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Arjun wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Krishna, out of his mercy upon his devotee Arjun, showed his universal form full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and his many faces were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjun. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculation. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjun. But Because the form was shown to Arjun, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in other planets in outer space could also see it. They had not seen it before, but because of Arjun, they were also able to see it. In other words, all the disciplic devotees of the
Mataji, you went mute.
by the mercy of Krishna. Someone has commented that this form was shown to Duryodhan also when Krishna went to Duryodhan to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer, but at the time, Krishna manifested some of his universal forms. But those forms are different from the one shown to Arjun. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Text 48.
Hare Krishna. Text 48. Na vedayatya jayanirna dhanirna chakriyabirna tapovirugre evam rapasakyaham rinoke drashtum tvadanyena kuru pravira. Translation. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Purport. The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhaktas Mritodaiva. Those who are atheistic, who do not believe in Vishnu, or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as the supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form. Although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna, now one can have some idea of the Vishwarupa after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord. But one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. In this verse, there are some significant words, just like Veda Yajna which refers to studying Vedic literatures and the subject matter of sacrificial regulations. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic literature, such as the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, and the 18 Puranas, the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are Sutras, Kalpa Sutras, and Mimamsa Sutras for studying the method of sacrifice. Dhani refers to charity, which is offered to a suitable party, such as those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Similarly, pious activities refers to Agnihotra and the prescribed duties of different castes. And the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see the universal form. Those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation, but this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, otherwise, there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of what is this? Of study of science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of Surya incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations. Thank you.
Thank you. It's funny, recently I heard one devotee says, as an Indian friend, he said, oh, his uncle went to see Ras Leela other day. I said, really? How that's happened? He said, well, in the middle of the night, he said he's going to go see Ras Leela in Vrindavan. So he went and saw Ras Leela and came back. It's such a, people take things, spiritual life so cheaply. So if we all become strong in understanding, then we can remove the ignorance of common people. And this is important. This is very nice, wonderful. Next, 49.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Mate vyatha ma cha vimud bhavo drishtva rupam ghormidrikmamidam vyapet bhiprit mana punatvam tat evam me rupam idam prapashya. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Purport. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent. And for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Everybody is paying attention what we are reading. I hope, can somebody tell me why devotees are not interested in the universal form without looking at the book? What did you just hear?
They cannot reciprocate that love and affection in that with that universal form.
Very good. Thank you. Next 50. Wow, we are almost there.
Prabhu, just a moment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We still need some more volunteers. Can anybody volunteer?
Hare
You
Krishna.
need Mother Palika Pavani Devi Dasi. On the 54 text, you need 3 devotees. It's a long purport.
Yes.
Even 55 is also very long.
Please cooperate with her. Please show your eagerness to serve. Please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I can reach 50th.
Okay, you just text to her. She's doing a wonderful service. I appreciate helping.
Sanjay Vacha Itarjunam Vasudevasthato Tva Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyah Ashvasayamasa Cha Bhitamenam Bhutva Punah Somya Vapur Mahatma. Translation proper by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Translation. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, display his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport. When Krishna appeared as a son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as a four-armed Narayana. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form, but, but since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed himself in the two-hand forms. The, the word Saumya Vapu is very significant. Saumya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form, and because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotees, and showered him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 538, it is stated, Primanchana Chotrit Bhakt Charuta Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are seamed with the omnipotent of love can see the beautiful form of Sri Krishna. Hari Krishna.
Very good. 51.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Nirguna Prabhu is reading.
I will read. Arjuna Uvacha Dristveda Manusham Rupam Tava Samyam Janardana Idanim Asmi Samvrita Sacheta Pakitim Gata. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am resorted to my original nature. Purport. Here the word Manusham Rupam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form and again to show the four-handed Narayan form? So it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the readers by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed form, Vishnu, four-handed Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. The original verse of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators.
Very nice purport, isn't it? Let's break it. Break down this purport. Very nice. I love this purport, Prabhupada says. Can Krishna's form be called human form? Yes. Krishna form can be called human form. It cannot be called material form. You understand? Krishna's form can be called human form, but not material form. To say Krishna has a human form is not offensive. Try to understand. This is beautiful, the way Prabhupada and Nirguna Prabhu read was wonderful. To say Krishna has a human form is not offensive to say. Krishna has a material form is offensive or incorrect. To say Krishna form is illusory, and we have to go beyond. It is not just incorrect, but offensive. We should be very careful in this. Previous verse, Krishna says, see my Somma Bapu. Arjuna is confirming here. Somma Bapu means something relevant. You remember other day we discussed that what is the biggest special gift Krishna gives to us, most astonishing form. What Krishna's most astonishing form to us? That he is all pervasive, all comprehensive, yet he can be exact your size to be with you. And the way you want to reciprocate, he will reciprocate with you. This is the most inconceivable. That how he does this. He does this because he loves us. He reciprocates with us. So here in this verse, it says, Sacheta prakritim gata. Return to my own nature at material level is nature of Kshatriya. At spiritual level, nature of a devotee who loves Krishna. So external disturbances disturbs us. Our expectation is that Krishna should set the external things right. That is what we pray to Krishna for, but ultimately the external is not the shelter for us. The shelter is the internal. I hope everybody understands this. Pure bhakti, action is important. Chesta rupa, two things you need in life in bhakti. Bhava rupa, chesta rupa. Chesta rupa means you endeavor with what you have. What do you have? If I ask you right now, what do you have, Prabhu or mothers? What do you have? You have your body. You have your mind. You have your speech. That's all. You don't have anything else. So serve Krishna with those three. That is called Chesta Rupa. All three together, Chesta Rupa. Bhava Rupa is what intention you have. Intention has to be favorable. Favorable without inimical mood. Chanura Mustika was fighting with Krishna. Chanura. Every time Chanura punches Krishna, Krishna laughs. He enjoys the shibari. Krishna was enjoying. So what is the purpose of life? To give pleasure to Krishna. So is this bhakti or not bhakti? Mother Sravanti. Is this bhakti or not bhakti? Chanura is hitting Krishna and Krishna is happy that he is getting punched because he's a shibari. Your mother, you may not understand because the man, when they are strong, young, Kshatriya, they like little punch, like a wrestle. So Krishna is smiling. Is it bhakti or not? Mother Sravanti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Is this bhakti or not?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's bhakti.
Okay. Everybody agrees with what she said?
Yes,
That
Prabhuji.
duality.
If Krishna is getting pleasure, then it is bhakti.
Okay. Let's come back to another example. Just remember what you just said, what you agreed. Giving pleasure to Krishna is bhakti. Krishna wants to drink milk. Mother Yashoda forced him to put him down because she has to take care of the stove where the milk's overboiling. Now Krishna got angry because he could not drink milk. And out of anger, he went to the deity room, broke the butter pot, but his intelligence was not mature because he was a little boy. Well, Prabhu, don't say like that, he's God. I know, but still Acharya comment because he put the footprint everywhere. He did not think that somebody can trace him where he's going. Well, Mother Yashoda did trace him by seeing his footprint. And he went all the way. So in this example, I won't go big first time. In this example, Mother Yashoda did not please him. Is it bhakti or not bhakti? Somebody else answer beside these two devotees who agreed. The other one is bhakti. But in this case, Mother Yashoda did not please. Is it bhakti or not?
It's bhakti only for me.
Who is saying it's bhakti?
Shyamala Gopika.
Okay, Mother, how can you say it is bhakti? It is not pleasing Krishna. Krishna was angry.
You have to see
Yeah,
the
but
intention.
the intention of her is actually she's trying to get the milk from a special cow for Krishna, and that should not be wasted, because so that she can give and feed Krishna. So it is to please Krishna only.
And do you agree with the others that the Chanura's punching Krishna was bhakti or not bhakti?
That's also bhakti.
Oh, Krishna.
Chanura's punching Krishna is not bhakti, because Chanura was not doing that for
Yes,
with
Chanura is
the pleasure
Wait
of
one
Krishna.
second. Two person cannot speak same time. Lila Govinda Prabhu, what is your opinion?
Chanura's consciousness was not for pleasing Krishna.
I want everybody to understand this. This is the truth. You must have to nectar of devotion. Have you taken already nectar of devotion?
Yes.
You're done?
Yes. Yes, it
Oh,
says there.
no. How can you, if you done nectar of devotion, then how can you come up with the idea that the Chanura's is bhakti? I'm sure the speaker, whoever did it, I'm sure he explained, but I think you forgot.
Yeah.
Try to remember this, you answered. That the definition of bhakti, above all the definition, I beg you all, memorize this one verse. Anna vilashita sunnam ena karmadi anabritam anukulyana krishna anusilanam bhakti ruttama. You have to memorize this. This is like your identity of bhakti. Without that verse, it's very difficult to reconcile anything or everything. That verse, you will feel more sweeter than ice cream or whatever you like the most, cake. More sweeter than anything else. In that verse, it says, Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam. Anukulyana means favorable. What is that favorable? Favorable means or pratikul rahita. The intention of the person who is performing has to be devoid of enmity. Chanura, what was his intention? He wanted to kill Krishna. That was the purpose. Chanura's intention was to kill Krishna. Whatever he does, it is not bhakti. Period. Mother Yashoda, her intention, Krishna, Shyamala Gopika, she hit the very nice point. Yes, it is true that Rupa Goswami Pad, Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad explains this. Uddeshaya Krishnaya Rachananam iti prabriti. That anything pleases Krishna, it is not necessarily can be called bhakti. It has to be checked with these two checkpoints. Forward. Sorry. And the point is that that when you think of anything you do in your life, it has to be in the parameter of these two. I'm sure in nectar devotion, I'm sure the teacher explained you. It's like a train goes very safely when the two tracks are equal distance all the way from beginning till end. Similarly, in your bhakti path, you have to have these two tracks. One is called atibhakti, one is called apbhakti. underextended, overextended. It cannot be overextended, it cannot be underextended. So in Mother Yashoda's case, it was overextended, sorry, underextended. And in Chanura Musti's case, it's just the opposite. So bhakti has to be in this parallel, that my endeavor has to have an intention just to please Krishna. Mother Yashoda thought, my breast milk is not enough to raise Krishna as a handsome macho boy, a beautiful, handsome boy. My breast milk is not enough. She's thinking that I have milked the cows, the special cows, and from this milk, we will have a barfi, cheese, butter that I'm going to feed personally. She could not. Do you know that she could not feed Krishna every day by herself? Because she has 100,000 maid servants. Do you know 100,000 maid servants? I don't think you can imagine what is that means. 100,000 maid servants. But they have a full-fledged engagement. Still they could not. Why? Because Mother Yashoda cannot demand to take care of Krishna by herself. For an example, on the Putana's day, when Putana came, Mother Yashoda and Rohini Maya are conversing with all these mothers. Putana just appeared, most attractive, beautiful goddess, not a human mother, goddess like a Lakshmi or some demigod's wife. So then Mother Yashoda thought, my son is so beautiful, why not? Great personality like this should be coming. So she allowed. She didn't even inquire, where are you from, what? She allowed. When he came, then after looking each other, of course, Krishna closed his eye, and Krishna closed his eye for 3 reasons, right? One of the reasons he called also Shiva to come there, Lord Shiva, because he's not expert in drinking poison. So, and Putana came with the breast filled with poison smeared. So Krishna closed his eye for 3 reasons. One of the reasons was that to call Shiva and take the poison out, because she came to give the breast milk. Okay, I'll drink it after poison is out. At that time, when Putana finally grabbed Krishna and taking him away, then what happened? Very mysterious. Putana has a body of 12 miles. And Kongsha has a breakfast garden. Kongsha's garden for breakfast is 14 miles. It destroyed Kongsha's entire breakfast garden, fruits and all kinds of roots that they grow for Kongsha to eat. Kongsha could not have his breakfast because it's completely ruined by Putana's 12 miles body. Now question comes, what did Mother Yashoda do at that time? She had this sattvic mood. Everybody is familiar with Sthai Bhav, Anubhav, Bibhav, Sattvic Bhav, Bebichari Bhav, these 5. Yes or no? Have you done Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
Then you must know this.
all those bhavas. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, 18 and 19 chapter. I remember I taught also Bhakti Shastri last year, or maybe year before. But on the Nectar of Devotion, you must know these 5 all the time, because today you see in Arjuna's case what is happening. When you are planning to do something with your mind, that is called Anubhav. In a very simple way you can remember. You have a particular feeling and you want to act on it, then it is Anubhav. But what is happening automatically without your awareness, that's called Sattvic Bhav. Everybody understanding? Anyway, maybe I should not go too much in details on this. Just to establish this point, when Arjuna saw universal form, can somebody answer me, did he plan for goosebump or hair standing or trembling? Did he plan for that? Yes or no?
No.
Did it come automatically? That is called Sattik Bhav. You can remember like that. You don't plan. It automatically happening within your body, experiencing that. Anubhav means you see the singer, everybody's dancing. You want to also dance. That's Anubhav. Your feeling and your intention going with the movement. So you're dancing. That is Anubhav. Sattik Bhav means you did not plan. Arjuna did not plan to tremble, but he is trembling. Can you not make noise right now? Thank you. After like 20 minutes, I'll be free. Thank you. So this way we have to reconcile this. That Mother Yashoda seeing Putana outside in the sky, 12 miles. I don't know if anybody understands 12 miles body of a lady. It's just a word. For me, 12 miles body is giant. Mother Yashoda could not move. Why? Because she has her Sattik Bhav. One of the Sattik Bhav, 8 Sattik, one is Stamba. First thing is Stamba. Stamba means becomes like a pillar, cannot move. It's like, wow, my son is being kidnapped by this lady, 12 miles. She could not even say anything, could not see anything. She just stood like a pillar. That is experience they do. And then she fell. Now she is a mother. Isn't her duty to rescue the child? If she is experiencing Sattik Bhav, who is going to rescue the Krishna? Because she didn't have, she could not. All those manjaris, maid servant, they ran after Putana. Miles after miles. Finally, they came back, they brought this ladder to climb because her breast, where Krishna holding the nipple, it's almost 32 feet, the big ladder. They cannot just climb up. As a whole operation, I'm just giving you a little clue. Then finally they brought. So many incidents, I can tell you, where Mother Yashoda feels guilty. When the maid servant said, they are going to feed Krishna, they will take care of him. She cannot say no, because she said, they actually have so much love for my son. They doing more than I'm doing. I cannot even do so many things. But they, some or other, has more love than me. So this kind of feeling Mother Yashoda is maintaining from long time. She's dreaming, Krishna is stealing butter. If I could feed myself with doing everything. And that was the day where Damodar Leela took place. That was the only day, no maid servant in the house. They all went on the bank of Jamuna for performing Indra Puja. There was no Govardhan Puja until he's 7. So it boils down to this, that Mother Yashoda, she has a genuine interest. Everything she does, even discipline she does to Krishna. You remember 4 things she does mostly. Palan, Poshan, Taran, Vatshan. This is the motherly nature. 4 things, Vatsalya. So well that she is the best mother ever or will ever exist. So anything she does, even make Krishna cry, even deprive Krishna for something. Even in a joke, every night they have a joking, pastimes. Krishna asked Mother Yashoda, who created everything, Mother? Mother Yashoda says, God. Who maintains everything, Mother? God. Who created me, Mother? Me, you come from me. Who will maintain me, Mother? I will maintain you. Try to understand, it's not that she's not giving credit to God. He's giving 100% credit, but her mamata, her sneha, affection is so deep that Krishna loves them. So everything she does is pure love because her intention is love. So 2 things make bhakti perfect. What is this? Chesta Rupa, Bhava Rupa. Can you remember this? Chesta Rupa, Bhava Rupa. Without these 2, and then Chesta Rupa has a 3 division, Bhava Rupa has a 2 division. Overextended, underextended. Okay, I'm sorry. I just went off little other route.
Prabhuji,
I also have something to say. Pran Govinda, I want
One
to
second,
say.
Prabhu. One second. Before you, Ramshem Prabhu wanted to say something. He was started and then he got cut off. I'll come back, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in same context, like, I totally agree with that. You said like Chanda and Mustika, because they were envious and they were not, their consciousness was not for that, like pleasing Krishna, but Krishna was, while fighting, was getting pleased, by that way. And that is the nature of Krishna. And in the every pastime with the demons, he did like that, the same thing. So whether Ravana, Kumbhakarna, or the other, so related to the same, like Jai Bijay, when Jai Bijay, they were in the Vaikuntha, they were the Parsada, they were bodyguard. So when they were cursed by 4 Kumaras, and when Krishna, as a Vishnu, when he asked like, what do you want to choose? You want to choose 3 birth time separation as a demon, or 7 birth time separation as a devotee? So when they choose 3 birth time as a demon, so why that why that not a devotee being, they wanted not to be separate more lifetime? Is that the selection was not devotee? Just wanted to clarify, Prabhuji.
Very nice thinking. You're thinking very deep, very nice. I give an example and then I will answer it. Nityananda Prabhu was told by Mahaprabhu, you should go to Bengal, get married, no sannyas. You go to Bengal, get married and preach. Otherwise, those Bengalis are stubborn, Garparua. And they will not become Krishna conscious unless you go there. And don't come back. You have to stay there and preach. And guess what happened? He came back after a few months. He cannot be separated from Lord Chaitanya. So when they met, now did Nityananda Prabhu break the instruction, disobey? No. He did disobey externally. But Mahaprabhu loves it that when your attraction is so deep that he cannot tolerate a moment to be separated from God, you just run back. It's greater pleasure, it greater extent pleasing Mahaprabhu than just following his order. Now, mothers and Prabhus, I'm not saying that don't follow the instruction. That's not what my point was. Point is very unique that we should follow. But when our emotion, attraction to Krishna becomes so strong, you become suicidal to get Krishna. Krishna loves it and he will be there. Don't worry, there won't be suicide. Satyabhama tried to do that. Satyabhama, even because Rukmini was so, not transcendental jealous, I would say. It is not a jealous. Because Satyabhama was so beautiful, Krishna says, find an auspicious time so we can get married. Satyabhama is thinking, she's so beautiful. If she marry him, then I won't see my husband all the time. Now what to do? All right, let's prolong the wedding date. Not next month, there is no good date. Maybe month after. I'll watch it. So Krishna depending. And Satyabhama is thinking, the way she's going, she doesn't want me to marry Krishna. So she became suicidal. On the back side of her guest house where she was staying, there's a deep, beautiful well. She's talking and remembering the pastime from Narad Muni heard about the Kaliya. And she's thinking, maybe Kaliya is here. She's calling, Kaliya, if I cannot marry Krishna, I will kill myself. Please come and take me. It's months passing by, not happening. So she's so depressed. Then she can, when you cry so much, you cannot even see properly. Your tears are like covering your perception. So then all of a sudden the Kaliya snake came and grabbed her. And she's saying, no, don't grab me, just take me down in the well. I'll kill myself if I cannot marry. and it seems like I'm not going to get married because if so many months passed. Then at one point, she felt like this snake is not let her go. So then she, some or other got a release of her hand and wiped the eyes. And that time, she was dumbstruck. That was Krishna's hand. In Nectar Devotion, you saw Krishna's hand explained as like a snake. Because of that. Because when, I'm not saying that you should play with the snake. When the snake touches you, it's so comforting, so accommodating. You feel like, oh, because Lord sleeps on snake's bed, the Vishnu. So Krishna's hand is like this. And she felt so embarrassed. Oh my God, you heard everything that I was talking to Kalia? Krishna says, yeah, you are talking to me, you're not knowing that I was Kalia. So Prabhupada made a beautiful comment, there is no disappointment. So in your case, when you ask the Joy Bijoy, 3 life, why they choose demoniac 3 life versus 7 life? What do you think from these 2 examples you can get? Is the intensity. It is not devotee life or demon life. It is the intensity to be with the Lord again, soon. I don't care whatever life it is, I want to be with Him. I want to be with the Lord. Sooner is better. So they choose 3 life. Because they are love. If you look at in 3rd canto, 26th chapter, one of the purport says that when this is 7th canto, 8th chapter, 7th canto, 3rd canto, the Bharadevs instigated to the 7th canto, 8th chapter, where Nishingadev appeared. And one of the verse says, the Lord is so happy. That commentator said that he's not interested to sit in the heart of Jogi, but he's very happy to sit in the Hiranyakashipu Singhasan. And then he's taking the intestine out. We sing, Gale Baijanti Mala. We sing so many songs that his neck is adored with the Baijanti Mala. But here he's taking intestine out. Intestine, intestine. You ever put it in your hand? I don't think so, but possible. He pull the intestine out and making it like a garland. And he's very happy. He's angry, showing, but he's putting all the intestine around his neck. What kind of love is that? Tell me what kind of God is that he loves to put garland intestine of a demon? Because Prabhupada is so wonderful, genius. He writes in the translation and in the purport that Hiranyakashipu served the Lord bhakti in anger. I never heard anywhere else. That's the only place I saw. Bhakti in anger, devotional service in anger. Krishna loves it. So the intensity, when you go really crazy for your beloved, you will do anything to get there. So 3 lives is easier than 7 lives. That's why. That's the only reason they choose 3 lives.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhupada. So intensity was the part of bhakti that they selected, right? So
yes,
but activity become not bhakti.
Activity is not bhakti, but indirectly, Hiranyakashipu actually did the biggest bhakti act. Bhishmadev went against Krishna, but that is also bhakti. Lord Shiva came as a Sankaracharya against God, that you all are God. That is also bhakti. But one day we'll discuss that how to see those actually real bhakti also. But we should not imitate, or nobody should imitate. But those personalities that Sankaracharya did, Bhishmadev did, that tolerating Draupadi's insult and going against Krishna's side, it is actually very high esteem bhakti, but cannot be explained in 1 minute. It's required half an hour at least. So like that.
But if
thank you so much.
Much pleasure
Thank you.
to Krishna. Is it bhakti?
Nirguna Prabhu, yes.
If it gives so much pleasure to Krishna to beat up Chanora, and we know eventually chant Kazi's Kamsa, and we know they all are his devotees, even Kamsa becomes a devotee, so we can understand that it's eternal associates or something like that. So isn't it, yes, bhakti, but not so recommended? Because how can we compare our situation to somebody who is already in Krishna's pastime? So it's is elevated, and it gives Krishna's pleasure that somebody is doing the part of the bad guy.
Okay, you're asking 2-3 questions. Let me answer one by one. This is very nice. Thank you. If somebody has a Bhagavatam, you can open, I believe it's 7.1.30 or 31. Prabhupada quote this a lot. It begins with Kama desat bhayat sneha jata bhakti ishwaramana. Something like, yes, like that. Kama desat bhayat sneha jata bhakti ishwaramana. Aveshu to agam hitta bhavoto gatim gata. Now what happened here, we cannot say they are eternal associate just because they came in Krishna Lila. No. Jiva Goswami Pad does not say that. Yes, Kongso came as a Chandkaji, but that is a conditioned soul, is not an eternal associate. Kongso is a position. Putana is also a position that some Mataji can take over the position of Putana, like Bamundev's daughter or sister Ratnamala, who came as a Putana. So these are positions, but they are not eternal. Those souls are not eternal associate. They take the position to participate and then they get delivered. Chanura Mustika also same thing. They are not their conditioned soul. No Acharya ever said. Rather, I can show you the Jiva Goswami Pad actually very strictly saying that no, they are not. Sanatana Goswami Dasami Tippani, a book Prabhupada said one must read. That book has actually very details about this. So it is wonderful from that angle. And as far anybody coming to Krishna Lila, yes, they are not ordinary. That is true. I agree with you, Nirguna Prabhu. They are arranged by Jogamaya for participate in this life. Previous life, they are probably, even like Kaliya, I mentioned Kaliya. Kaliya was, great sage Bedasira who did severe austerities. He is also Kanchipuram Raj. One life he was Kanchipuram Raj, where he was washing the feet of a great sage. But when he was washing, I don't think anybody had an experience like that. But when he was washing the feet of a great sage who was doing a meditation in a hollow of a big tree. Inside the hollow, he was meditating. So while he was washing, some part of the feet was also kind of came out in the water, and it was very, what's the word? Not attractive. I don't know how to say it, because we don't want to be disrespectful. Because of foot wash water, Bhakta Pada Duli, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhakta Abhashes, Teen Mahabal. Chaitanya Chaitamrita Mahaprabhu says the three most powerful things is the foot dust of the devotee, foot wash water, and remnants, uchista, from the food that Bhakta eats. So he could not take that water on his mouth because of the outcome, what he saw. So, but he wanted to be respectful. He was a great king, Rajoshi, saintly king. So he sprinkled the water on his head. And as a result, in a Kaliya mouth was full of poison, but his hood was a place where Krishna put a footprint because he sprinkled the devotee washed water. Everybody understanding that point? This is very significant in our life. Be very careful. Whatever you don't like in spiritual path, it could be an obstacle in your next life. Because that king could not take it in his mouth. So next life when he became Kaliya, his mouth full of poison. But he sprinkled it on his head And that became a place where Krishna put a footprint. So from that angle, we can look at from that side. Anything else, Nirguna Prabhu, you had? Did I miss something?
Yes, because what I'm saying is, if they so you say that actually it has to be perfect. The devotion has to be perfect. Otherwise, it's not devotion.
Yeah, please look at it. 7:132, 30:31:32. Those verses are giving that Kangsha's devotion is not a favorable bhakti. It is not bhakti. He is thinking of Krishna, but it is not bhakti. Shishupal is not doing bhakti. Anybody found that verse?
Yeah,
Kama
Prabhuji.
Desa.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Leela Govinda Prabhu, can you read it?
Verse, Prabhuji?
You have the verse 7:1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 7:131. Gopyat kamat bayat
30,
kamso
Prabhuji. 30.
dveshaschadyadayo nripa sambandhad vrishnaya snehad yoyam bhaktya vayam vibho. Translation, Prabhu?
Yes.
Prabhu, actually, Prabhu is speaking about 7.1.
That's fine. The next verse is also same thing as this. Both are collaborating. The point here is that 6 types of people goes back home, back to Godhead. 4 types are favorable. They are called bhakti. They're doing bhakti. And the other 2 that gets, like Kamsa or Shishupal example, they do not go to spiritual world. They go to spiritual world, but no seva, so they merge. That is not really bhakti. Out of 4, I'm just giving summaries of 10, 2 are not actually available. One is the Narada's bhakti. Narad Muni never gave like that. And Sneha for the Pandavas, they did not explain how they became qualified. So we have only 2 left out of 6. And those 2 are the most important. And Rupa Goswami Pad made it into Nectar of Devotion. If you went to the class, one is called Sambandha Atmika, one is called Kama Rupa Atmika. Kamatmika Bhakti and Sambandha Atmika Bhakti. In Vrindavan, that's all they have, 2 types of bhakti. Mother Joshoda, Subal, everybody say, is my son, my friend. Like this, they think, they have a relationship based. And the other group, they don't have a relationship. Like the gopis, Radharani. They're married to somebody else. In Vedic culture, there is no relationship with Paramaur. But what they have? Kamatmika. They have a strong love for Krishna. So these 2 ways you can enter to Vrindavan. Those verses are very important. Okay, thank you so much.
But about Jai Vijay, no, okay. Jan Vijay, are you sure they do? To me, it sounds, because I'm in the material world and I have no spiritual relation, so emotion like that. When I read this, it sounds to me like they decided not to be friends with Krishna. It doesn't show that they didn't have any bhakti. And if they had bhakti, they would say, "Yes, sure, I will be friends with Krishna." 5 lifetimes on the material world, it sounds great, because I don't care where, I can serve Krishna anywhere, in hell even. The pure devotee says I will go to hell for Krishna. But they said, we rather take 3. More, to me, it sounds, and you can correct me, that they were just didn't want the contamination of the material world.
If you have the book called Madhurya Kadambini by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and you can find the on Anartha section where Joy Bidoy pastime is given. There it's mentioned the 3 life and 7 life. It is not in Bhagavatam, but in the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. You have to reconcile like this. What Ramshem Prabhu said is correct, what he says. They choose 3 life over 7 life because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentioned there. Now, if you want to know more details about, is it the same Joy Bijoy? No, it is not same Joy Bijoy. I can tell you that also. If you have a Anybody has a Chaitanya Charitamrita access right there? You can go 536, 536. Fifth Adi Leela, chapter 5. If you go to 36 verse, and you'll see there is a purport given of this Shishupal and Shishupal. There are three lives: Joy, Vijay, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, and Shishupal, Dantabakra. Or these are not the same Joy, Vijay of original. Prabhupada explains this in that purport. But I'm not going to read this. It will take 10 minutes or something. But you can read there. You can read there. It's not the same Joy Vijay we are talking. The Joy Vijay, Prabhupada made it very clear in that purport that the Bhagavan, God is so kind, so lovely, never wants any devotee to suffer, ever. Especially when they go to spiritual world, they come down here to participate. Krishna doesn't want them to stay here for millennium. You know, Krishna came as a Ram with Ravana. Then, he comes every millennium. No, not like this. That is not actually accepted. So then they come one after another sequence, 3 life, and they go back. Finish. But then who is Shishupal? Prabhupada explained that there is a post Shishupal and some envious soul takes that position. Like that we have to understand. So you have some homework, you can read those.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry to interrupt.
Mother Palika Pavani, how many we finished so far? We finished up to
We
51,
finished
yeah?
till 50th verse.
51.
Yeah, 51.
So tomorrow we'll start from 52 to 55 and then we'll begin the 12th chapter. You please make up the list, if you don't mind, if it is okay for you.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
Okay.
But Prabhu, it's too late today. I had the 10 minutes for 10 here in India. So I would
I'm
like
so
to leave
sorry.
the meeting.
Let's pay obeisances and you all go to rest. Please. Bancha kalpa tarubhesya kipa sindhuvaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah anantagadi vaishnavrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Gaurande Hari Hari Bol. Again, I'm very sorry for those who are in India taking that. I really appreciate that you participating and cancelling your sleep. That's wonderful.